Hi, my name is John Hagerman. My wife Jan and I are here at the site of the Arizona Renaissance Festival to show you that it's easy to play the bowed psaltery.
By the time you reach the end of this tape, you will have learned how to play and care for your psaltery. The origins of the psaltery go all the way back to the Old Testament of the Bible. There's reference to King David playing the psaltery. There are many other references in art and literature.
There were several different shapes of the psaltery. The triangular form, like this one, is the one that lent itself best to being bowed. The bow was most likely added during the Renaissance.
The psaltery today is played in the British Isles as well as other European countries. There are variations of it played in the Middle East, and the instrument has been kept alive in this country by folk artists in the Appalachians and the Ozarks.
It is by far and away the simplest instrument you will ever see to play. I know all of you at some time have sat out there when no one was looking and used one finger to plink away on a piano. That's much like playing the psaltery. This side is the naturals, like the white keys of a piano. This side is the flats and sharps, like the black keys of a piano, and it's just a matter of playing one note at a time. Now it's time to teach you how to play your psaltery.
First, let me show you how to hold your instrument. Hold it directly in front of you, pointing away. Hold the bow about 6 inches up from the heavy end in your fingertips. Hold the bow perpendicular to your arm, not parallel. You may find that the instrument gets a little heavy standing. Most people find sitting very comfortable. Hold it, as I said, in front of you, resting it on your lap or on the arm of a chair.
There are two other things you need to do before you can actually start playing your instrument. One is to rosin your bow, the other is to tune your instrument. Rosining is very simple. Just hold your rosin, it's a medium tacky rosin like you'd use for a violin, and your bow, and rub the bow across the rosin, pressing quite firmly. The first couple of weeks you're going to be playing your instrument, you'll need to rosin quite often. You'll know you need rosin when you hit a note and all you get is a little high-pitched squeak or no sound at all. Doesn't mean you did something wrong. It just means it needs rosin. It's also a great excuse. If you blow a song, just blame the rosin. As far as tuning, there are a number of ways you can tune your instrument. You can use an electronic tuner, that's the easiest way. You can use a pitch pipe. You can use a tape that has all the tones to tune it to, or you can tune it up with an electronic keyboard or piano. If your instrument does need tuning now, please fast forward the tape to the end where we have a section on tuning, tune your instrument, and then return to this lesson.
Basic bowing technique is very simple. You get the same sound from the bow whether it's traveling up or down. So we use both motions. Up on one note, down on the next. Don't be afraid to press fairly firmly. You won't hurt the bow or the instrument. If you have two of the same note, use a back and forth motion. Now, let's try a very basic song. I'm sure most of you will recognize this, but I'll bet you didn't know it was written by Mozart, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. It begins C, C, E, G, A, G, F, F, E, E, D, D, C. Now, I'll play through slowly and try and follow along with me. At this point, get out the sheet music that came with the tape, turn the tape off, and try the song on your own a couple of times.
When you first start playing your psaltery, I suggest you learn 1 or 2 songs thoroughly to begin with. What this will do for you is, first of all, it'll teach you those songs well enough to play for other people. In the process of learning them, you're going to get comfortable with where all the notes are on the instrument, and you're going to master 90% of the blowing technique you'll ever need. Once you're familiar with the instrument, then move on to other songs. Also, start with the songs slowly. Don't try to play them fast at first, you'll just get frustrated. Play them slowly, learn them, get comfortable with them, then add the speed up to where you want to be. This is a very good song to get started on. It's the Ode to Joy by Beethoven. It starts out E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, E, D, D, E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, D, C, C. That was only part of the song. I played just that phrase because that's not a bad way to learn a song. Start with one section at a time, learn that. When you're comfortable with it, move on to the next section. Now we'll go on to the whole song all the way through. E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, E, D, D, E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, D, C, C, D, E, C, D, E, F, E, C, D, E, F, E, D, C, D, G, E, F, G, G, F, E, D, C, C, D, E, D, C, C.
Christmas music is some of my favorite music. It also sounds wonderful on the Psaltery. And because we're all familiar with the tunes, it's very easy to learn. We're going to do 2 Christmas songs here. Work on them now, and by this Christmas, you'll be ready to entertain your friends. Joy to the World is a very simple song because it starts out with just the C scale, like so. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. G, A, B, B, C. C, C, B, A, G, G, F, E. C, C, B, A, G, G, F, E. 4 E's. F, G, F, E, D. E, F, E, D, C. C, A, G, F, E. F, E, D, C. I'll go through it again once more with the letters and once more without. Try and follow along. C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. G, A, B, B, C. C, C, B, A, G, G, F, E. C, C, B, A, G, G, F, E. 4 E's. F, G, F, E, D. 3 more D's. E, F, E, D, C. C, A, G, F, E. F, E, D, C. Silent Night is one of the prettiest songs I think there is on the Psaltery. Follow along. G, A, G, E, G, A, G, E, D, D, B, C, C, G, A, C, B, A, G, G, E, A, C, B, A, G, G, E, D, D, F, D, B, C, E, C, G, E, G, F, D, C. Once more through. G, A, G, E, G, A, G, E, D, D, B, C, C, G, A, C, B, A, G, G, E, A, C, B, A, G, G, E, D, D, F, D, B, C, E, C, G, E, G, F, D, C. G, A, G, E, G, A, G, E, D, D, B, C, C, G, A, C, B, A, G, G, E, A, C, B, A, G, G, E, D, D, F, D, B, C, E, C, G, E, G, F, D, C. At this point, stop the tape and pick out one of the 3 songs we've just shown you and try it a few times.
Now that you're comfortable with playing the naturals on an instrument, it's time to learn how to play flats and sharps. If you remember earlier, I said this side was the naturals, like the white keys on a piano. This side was the flats and the sharps, like the black keys. To play the flats and the sharps, it's just a matter of rolling your wrist like this. Nothing difficult about it. It's a little bit more than just the naturals, but not hard. Let's start you now on Scarborough Fair, a good song to introduce you to the flats and the sharps. That starts out A, E, B, C, B, A, E, G, A, G, E, F sharp, D, E, E, A, low A, C, D, E, D, C, B, low G, A, E, D, C, B, A, G, A. We'll go through that again like we have been, once more with the letters and then once without. A, E, B, C, B, A. E, G, A, G, E, F sharp, D, E. E, A, low A, C, D, E, D, C, B, low G, A, E, D, C, B, A, G, A. Now that you've learned a song with one sharp in it, we're going on to a song with quite a few sharps in it. Get out your music book and follow along what I'm playing, and then try it on your own. What we're going to learn is green sleeves. That starts out E, G, A, B, C, B, A, F sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, E, E, D sharp, E, F sharp, D sharp, B. E, G, A, B, C, B, A, F sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, E, D sharp, C sharp, D sharp, E, E. D, D, C sharp, B, A, F sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, E, E, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, D sharp, B. D, D, C sharp, B, A, F sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, F sharp, E, D sharp, C sharp, D sharp, E, E. Once more through without me saying the letters.
Another song that works well for sharps and flats is called the Ash Grove. It's a traditional Welsh folk tune. But this time, I'm not going to tell you the letters. You'll have to follow along in your own music. Again, stop the tape and begin practicing one of these 3 songs. There's a bow technique on the Psaltery that we call a slide. It's for when we want to play 2 or more notes in rapid succession. On other instruments, you might hear it referred to as a slur, an arpeggio, or a glissando. In either a downstroke or an upstroke with the bow, just slide the bow over the pins, like this. This will take a little bit of practice. You're going to experiment with the angle and pressure of the bow. You may also need to experiment with your own instrument. Not all psalteries are strung in such a manner that you can do the slide. A good song to start out with is Amazing Grace. First I'll play a little without the slide, and then I'll add it in.
Now we're going to learn Garryon. Most of you probably know it better as Custer's theme song. It has a long slide all the way from the C to the C like this, and just a matter of sliding down the length of the bow as you're sliding over the pins like that. Now we'll play the whole song through with the slide. Now pause your tape and rewind it if you need to listen to it, get your music out, and practice that on your own.
What if you don't read music? Well, by now I think you may have realized we found a way around that. The music that's included with the video has the letter values of the notes written underneath them. Your Psaltery may have come with music that's similarly written. If you don't have music with your Psaltery, head to the music store, ask to see electronic keyboard music. Again, it has the letters written underneath it. We like to call it cheater music. It's the one time in life you can cheat and you can really get away with it. You can also make your own music. If you already have piano or vocal music or for instrumental music for any other instrument, as long as it has a melody line and is in treble clef, you can write your own letters underneath it.
That takes care of the sheet music. But what about the instrument itself? How do you know where the notes are on your Psaltery? Very simple. If you notice, our Psalteries have a little note guide on them, cheater strip, that indicates where all the notes are on the instrument. If your Psaltery does not have a note guide on it, no problem. You can buy decals at many stores that you can place right on the instrument to indicate where the notes are. You can paint a little dot or wood burn a little dot where your C's and your F's are to help you find your way around the instrument, or you can literally paint the letters of the notes right on the instrument.
When you get started, pick out one song that you're already familiar with. Stick to it enough times through where you say to yourself, it sounds the way it is supposed to sound. It's going to take maybe half an hour, 45 minutes. By the end of that time, you will not only be familiar with the instrument, but also how to bow, pressure, volume, and so on. Try and stick to one song and not go into too many songs at first, because all that's going to do is get you frustrated.
You'll also get frustrated if you try to play that song fast right away. Start with it slowly, get comfortable with it, and then build your speed up to the way you want to play it, the tempo that you'd like to hear it. In a very short time, you'll find yourself playing all of your favorite songs like a pro.
Next, we're going to show you some more advanced bow techniques.
Now that you've gotten comfortable with one bow, got proficient at playing the songs we introduced you to earlier, it's time to move on to some more advanced techniques using two bows. Now, not all of you will want the extra challenge of two bows, but it isn't that much more difficult, and it is a whole new style of playing, a whole new world that opens up for you.
There aren't many instruments that you can play both parts of a duet as a solo act, but with the Psaltery you can. You'll be playing the harmony with one bow and the melody with the other. What we found works well for this is vocal music. Use the alto part and the soprano part.
That's what we did with Amazing Grace here. I used just the alto and the soprano and played one part with the left hand, one part with the right hand, like this.
Very nice.
Thank you.
The other two bow technique looks a little tougher, but it's actually a lot easier. You're just playing the melody line, but with two bows instead of one.
The whole secret to the two bow technique, whether you're playing harmonies or playing the one melody line like a hammered dulcimer, is to never cross your bows. You keep one bow closer to the tip of the instrument and one bow closer to you. If you need to move a bow out of the way to get to another note, no problem. Just don't start crossing them over, because that's a sure way to really get messed up when you're playing with two bows.
With the two bows as well, as you're playing, just as you're ending one note, begin the other note so that they overlap just a little bit. It gives it a sound very similar to that of the hammered dulcimer. I'm going to play a song for you that we tried earlier, but change it a little with the two bows. You'll hear the difference. Joy to the world.
I'm going to be playing a couple of very lively pieces for you, Red-Haired Boy and Irish Washerwoman. I'll be using both bows. Oh, if you're wondering what I've got my instrument on, it's a very simple stand that we've made to put on top of any tripod. It makes it a lot easier when you're playing with two bows, particularly if you need to be standing up while you're playing the two bows. We'll start with Red-Haired Boy. This next piece is a very lively jig, Irish washerwoman. Try to follow along in your music.
Now that you've gotten good at playing your psaltery on your own, it's time for a little more enjoyment, playing with other instruments.
Whether your psaltery has 1.5, 2, or 2.5 octaves or more, it's got a broad enough range to play music in just about any key you could want to play in. What this means for you is you've got a broad enough range to play with just about any other musical instrument out there.
We're going to let you know now how it sounds with two psalteries together. We're going to play John with 2 bows and myself with 1. We're going to play a round.
We're going to play Rose, a traditional song of the British Isles. And here we go. You can have a lot of fun playing with other people as well.
Now that you know how to play your instrument, we'll teach you how to care for it.
There's a few basic rules, little ideas that you should follow on it just to make sure that your instrument lasts as long as you think it should.
Cleaning your instrument is very simple. Most instruments have a lacquer finish to them, but you want to consult your own instruction manual. So you don't want to use things like polishes and oils. Something we found that works well for cleaning a psaltery is what's used for cleaning the inside of a flute. It looks like a giant pipe cleaner. It fits well under the strings.
You can also use a soft bristled paintbrush, a clean one obviously, and just brush the dust right off your instrument.
Your bow shouldn't need cleaning as long as you don't touch it. Now, these bows are a synthetic hair made for the violin bow. To clean them, should they get dirty, all you want to do is use a soft cotton swab and rubbing alcohol. Try not to touch the hairs on your bow so that they don't get dirty.
You can also use the cotton swab and alcohol to clean the rosin off the strings of your instrument. Oh, by the way, if your bow is made of horsehair, consult your instruction book to determine the best way to keep it clean.
Humidity generally isn't a problem with instruments. Most psalteries are made of kiln-dried wood. Should you have an aquarium or plants in your home, that will help to keep a little humidity in the air. If you don't, and you do live in a dry climate, you might want to invest in a little case humidifier. Talk to your local music store.
Traveling with your bowed psaltery is one of the most enjoyable aspects of having a psaltery. But if you should travel, you want to make sure you've got a good case. Most psalteries will come with some sort of a case. A vinylized cardboard case with a fur lining like this is a good one that you'll see quite frequently. A soft case that's heavily padded is a good one. If you use a cloth bag, make sure that you have sufficient padding in it. Or, like we use quite a bit, a wooden case that has a divided compartment in it to keep your bow and other supplies from banging into your Psaltery itself on it. Whenever you travel, just make sure the Psaltery is well protected.
When you do travel, you might be traveling from climate to climate. Try not to leave it in your car in extreme hot or cold. If you do, bring it inside and let it acclimate to room temperature before you tune or play. Otherwise, you might break a string.
Playing a Psaltery is a lot of fun, but occasionally something goes wrong, like a string breaking. Don't worry if you break a string, it's not that big a deal to change it. There's a couple of different ways to change, and I will show you how to do that on it. Which one works for you depends on your particular Psaltery. You'd want to consult your instructions to see which way works best for you. There are a few simple tools that you'll need for changing a string on a Psaltery. You may have special tool needs according to your Psaltery. Consult your instruction book to see the best way. Of course, you're going to need your tuning wrench. We find it really is helpful to have a little needle nose pliers and a pair of wire snips on it. The first thing you want to do when changing the string, of course, is to remove the old string. Clip off the extra lengths on that, and I've got a little extra length on this one too because I double string, and I'll show you how to do that as well. Clip off all the excess on it. Take your needle nose, grab the wire, and push it back against it so that you create a little bit of a loop right in here. And you feed the needle nose down in there, and you pull that loop out, and sometimes it takes 2 or 3 little tugs, oops, to get enough of a loop built in there. And there we go. And just pull the loose end out. When you've got the wire off here, take your tuning wrench and crank the pin down to where you see that hole is just above the level of the wood there. Now it's ready to put a string on it. There's a couple of different types of string that you will do on that. One is when you're using a string with a little brass end on it like this, in which case you would feed it through. Oh, I forgot to mention, put the point to your left. Makes it a little easier. Feed the string through, grab it, and pull it all the way to where the brass end is through on it. Make sure it goes over the top of your pin. Come down to the other end. Feed the end of the wire through from the right to the left. Grab the needle nose and pull it up. Pull the slack out. Keep this little part of the wire here on the side of the pin towards you and pull that slack out. Kind of hold a little bit of pressure on with your left hand. Wrap this wire over the string and feed it right back through the hole from the left to the right. Keep a little pressure on the string as you're pulling the slack out, and you'll see it makes a nice little knot right around the pin. Pull the slack out, clip the loose end off, put your tuning wrench on it, and crank it the opposite direction. Now some instruments are going to be clockwise, some are going to be counterclockwise. Your instructions will tell you which way to go. You rough tune it this way, making sure it stays on top of the pin. Now that string is ready for tuning. There's another way of stringing an instrument that we use in ours. It keeps the little brass balls from kind of ruining the line of the instrument on it, and it's actually a little bit simpler. You notice there are no little brass knobs on the end of the pins on it. That's because we do all of the stringing and all the knots down at one end. To start with, you need to make sure you've got the right length of string. Grab the end of the string, hold it over the longest pin, and measure the length of that string twice. And add another 10 to 12 inches of string beyond that. Clip it off. That'll give you the right amount of string for doing our knot on it. First thing you do is the knot that we showed you, feeding the end of the wire through the tuning pin from right to left. Pick it up with the needle nose pliers. Take the long end and point it towards the tip of the instrument where you're going to be putting it over the pins for the notes, and pull through about 5 or 6 inches of loose string. Lift it over the long part of the string and put it back through the knot, or back through the post on the tuning end from left to right. Pull out the slack and tighten it down. Again, you clip off the loose end, turn it about half a turn to keep the knot from coming out. And you go down to your shortest string, you run it through from left to right up here, pull all the loose string out on that. And I notice I don't exactly have it on top of the pin, but I don't have it pulled tight there, and I'll show you that in just a second while you do that. Make sure at this end that you keep the string on the side of the tuning pin towards you. Now, take the loose end and run it through the next longer note from right to left, like this. Pull all the excess through, come back over the top there to the base of the instrument. Now at this point, you may want to run this shorter string right on top of the pin and tighten it down just a little bit to keep it in place where you're keeping tension on the longer portion of the string. When you've got it in place, you take the longer one, again, feed it through on the tuning pin down here from right to left. Take your needle nose pliers, pull up the loose, get it on top there, snug it down, keeping the loose part of the loop on the side of the tuning pin towards you, snug it down, feed the end of the wire back through again from left to right, and sometimes it doesn't want to cooperate, but you get it in there. Takes a try or two sometimes. And the more often you do this, the better you get with it, and this one just doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. Feed it through till you can get enough excess there to grab with the needle nose and pull it tight. Now it's a little hard to reach the wire snips inside there, so what you do is you crank it a half a turn so that the loose end is towards your bridge. Reach your snips down in the side there and trim off as close as you can to the tuning peg. Make sure you don't cut the string you just put on there. Now, make sure it's on top of the pin all the way here. Put your tuning wrench on there and crank it down, making sure it stays in place. Then you do a rough tune on it. You can hear it tuning up there. You don't have to be very accurate with this as far as the tuning on it, because you just put your tuner on it, or your tuning tape, or your pitch pipe, and you'll tune it up more accurately. This is just to make the tuning portion a little bit simpler because you have a rough tune on it. And that's all there is to it. You see how simple that makes it? There's no loose wires here to tear up your bow or scratch your hand. You don't have little brass knobs interfering with the way it looks. That's all there is to putting a new string on it. With a little practice, you'll get that down where you can put it on in just a couple of minutes. That's how we change strings. There's nothing to it. With a little practice, you'll be fast at changing strings on your instrument. You may want to consult your instruction manual to see if they recommend something different than the methods I've shown you. If not, enjoy. Now here's Jan to show you how to tune your instrument.
Tuning a psaltery is very easy. Most psalteries need tuning very infrequently. Let's take a look at some of the different things that you can use to tune your psaltery. Depending on your psaltery, you'll find that it needs to be tuned anywhere from 1 or 2 to 3 or 4 times a year. Nice thing about the Psaltery is that it does hold its tune very well. A couple of things that you will need to tune your Psaltery. Obviously the tuning wrench. It should have come with your Psaltery. If you have a piano or an electric keyboard at home, you can certainly tune to that. Your Psaltery may have come with a tape that has tones on it to compare to. You could also use a pitch pipe. What we find comes in handy is an electronic tuner. There are a couple of different types. One has a needle to indicate the note. The other, the letters light up. What definitely comes in handy when you're using an electronic tuner is a tuning clip. One end of the clip goes into the tuner. We have a special little adapter on this one so that you can see how both tuners work. Okay, get this all set up here for you. It's kind of a little unwieldy, but it'll work. The other end of the tuner clip goes onto the instrument. I like putting it on the end pin, that way it's out of the way. These first couple of notes are in tune. I just want to demonstrate how the tuners work. This is an A. On either tuner, you'll notice, you turn this one on, that it indicates the note. There's an A. Here's a G. And let's see what's F next. And the rest of these are going to be a little out of tune. Should be an E, but it's a D sharp. Just tighten the string up a little. Depending on your Psaltery, it will be counterclockwise or clockwise. You want to consult your, a little too far. Consult your instruction manual. There we go. And a D. Oh, that says A. Oh, we've got to go up a little ways here. That's a D. I find plucking the string works very well. You can use a bow also to get the tone. Consult your instruction book. There's a D. Okay, and a C, and the C's right on. Okay, the rest of this instrument is pretty well in tune. Now I'm going to go ahead and go over each note on the Psaltery so that you can use this video to tune your Psaltery. A. G. F. E. D. C. B. A. G. F. E, D, C, B, A, G, F, now we'll go up the sharp side. F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp is last. And there we go. That's all there is to tuning your Psaltery. This is not the most accurate way, but if you don't have access to an electronic tuner or any of the other ways, it will work.
That's all there is to it. Now you know how to play your Psaltery with one bow and with two bows. You know how to take care of and maintain it. Now it's time to start really enjoying your Psaltery.
We hope you have as much fun with your Psaltery as we have had with ours over the years. Just remember, start slow and have fun.
And before you know it, you're going to be playing your favorites like a pro.
If you would like more information on bowed psalteries, accessories, or supplies, please contact us, Unicorn Strings Music Company, at Post Office Box 26066, St. Louis Park, Minnesota, 55426, or 1-800-203-5921.